Well, the cane toad's killing our wildlife, not just by eating it. It's also killing it by being eaten by that wildlife. This death adder here, for example, has no sooner grasped this cane toad and it's dead.
The damage that he has inflicted on the natural environment itself, you take ibises, wild duck, they're all been affected by this fellow. As soon as they eat him, they die. I have seen snakes, taipans, death adders. You'd open them up, there'd be a toad inside them. He has definitely destroyed most of the natural habitat around this place.
It was quite common to have kookaburras, for example, brought in with the cane toad half down its throat, in a way that a kookaburra could normally manage a native animal, but halfway through the process of swallowing this cane toad, it falls out of the tree stone dead, just like it swallowed a cyanide pill. And this is a thing that kind of scared us. These little walking disaster areas, unlike any other kind of prey that the native animals were accustomed to, they gave the native animals no second chance, no warning, no bitter taste that makes you drop the animal. If they bit it firmly enough behind the head, they were dead. So from that point of view, it's a disaster because it's an introduction of an animal that the bush simply had no experience with and couldn't cope with.
He poses a bigger menace as the German army did in World War II. The invasion is on, and I appeal to everybody to, wherever you see a toad, have no hesitation running over and killing the monster.
Them up with the driver's side front wheel, and it's not quite as easy as it used to be with the big fat tyres on the RX4 Mazda, but I seem to be able to get most of the ones I line up on the right-hand side of the road. I know I've made a clean kill, particularly if the toad is actually facing towards the vehicle, because the air that's inside the toad is trapped within the head and blown out towards the back end, and the toad really goes off with a bang like a balloon going off. Well, I really go out of my way to run over cane toads basically because I have a very profound love of the wildlife that occurs here naturally. If it was possible to remove them and totally eradicate them from Australia, and I was capable of doing it, I would spend a lifetime doing exactly that.
Anyone tried to hurt one of my toads, there'd be a lot of noise and they'd realise I wasn't a lady.
I must confess I don't like the look of the animal, and I can't have any strong affection for him, but I think I've got to give him credit for doing a good job for us.
The cane toad is really an excellent invasion machine. It is made in many ways so that it can move rapidly into an area. It is able to move human-assisted as well as under its own steam. It reproduces incredibly well. It can produce 30,000 eggs per year, start producing after 1 year and maybe produce for 16 years. It can eat virtually anything, so food requirements aren't really a problem. It can live in most habitats as long as there's some water. And it has got excellent predator defence because it is poisonous at most stages of its life cycle, so nothing can really touch it. It's a great machine indeed.
These 8 toads, at one sitting, can produce 120,000 eggs. They might do that 2, perhaps even 3 times a year. Come the wet season in the top end in the world-famous wetlands, you're going to have nothing but a sea of little black tadpoles. In the dry season, those famous worldwide billabongs are going to be seething with hundreds of thousands of toads just like these. From there, the total conquest of northern Australia is but a hop, step and a jump.
Our studies would indicate that it's possible that the toad will spread right across the northern part of the Northern Territory, as far as the Kimberley region in northern Western Australia, down the coast of Queensland and as far south into New South Wales as possibly Coffs Harbour.
It's entirely possible when you consider what were previously thought to be the limitations on the toad and what it seems to be able to do now, that the toad is rapidly adapting to conditions that previously might have constrained it.
If the toad is coming in, basically it's going to come in. I can't see any simple way of stopping it at present.
So what we're going to gradually see is one of these classic human disasters of a monoculture, gradually a single species replacing, and a single introduced species replacing many, many natural species. So that what's really happening here is that an ecosystem is at threat by being chopped away at the base. And that will have repercussions all the way up through the whole of the food chain in which the toad has insinuated itself, so that we don't really know what the full effects ultimately will be. But already we've seen that some of the dominant carnivores in those ecosystems are probably going to vanish.
At the moment, we have absolutely no way of controlling the cane toad.